Hi, and welcome to Night Owl Collage. I'm Amber. Today is my week 1 video of the Fairy Spring collaboration hosted by Crafty Dragon Creations and Creative Paper Artisan. And this week we are doing ideas for journal covers. Don't forget to follow that hashtag, a Fairy Spring Collab 24, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, like the video, and comment to get your name in the drawings at the end of the month. So we are going to get started. We're going to make this cover, but you can adjust it to any kind of cover, you know, any decorated cover that you want. But the main component, let me show you here, is we're going to have a ribbon closure. And if I can get this open, also see I got my nails done to match my fairy journal. Okay, so the main thing is that we're going to have this ribbon closure. We're going to have this see-through layer to the cover. And with my cover, I'm going to be doing a 3 signature journal. You do not have to do a 3 signature journal. If you want to do this type of binding that looks like butterflies, which I'm going to be doing in week 4, then you want to do the 3 signature journal. If you want to just do a simple binding, go ahead and do a 1 signature journal, and I'll show you the variations of that as we go along. But we're going to do the see-through layer, and then there's going to be this cover. There's going to be a middle section with a pocket here, another section, let me find it, with a pocket here, and then the back cover with the see-through layer. Okay, so we're gonna get started on that. I'm gonna tell you what you need. You're going to need some heavyweight art paper or cardstock. I used watercolor paper. I used 9x12, and I printed my pages that I wanted to use on that watercolor paper. Again, that was 9x12, and then I used my tearing ruler. You could just use a regular ruler to tear, but I actually do have a tearing ruler. I used this side, and I just wanted these torn edges here. And we're going to, I printed my cover image on this side, and then on the other side I printed just like a gingham pattern that I wanted. And then this middle page, you're gonna do your whatever inside cover pattern that you want, print on one side, the other side can be blank. And then your back cover, this was my back image. Make sure when you're looking at these images, the back image is gonna be on the left. We're not gonna see this image. And then with the cover image, your image is gonna be on the right, and you're not gonna see this image, okay? So you're gonna need 3 of those with the backing. If you just wanna do a 1 signature journal, all you have to do is do your front and back images will be on the 1 page. So pick a page that you like, both images, the front and the back, and then your inside pattern that you want on the other side, and that's all you need for a 1 signature journal. So you're also going to need some ribbon. And mine is, let me measure that for you. This is 1.5 inch wide. I just got this at Walmart. And then you're gonna need a piece that's roughly 9 inches or so. And then you're gonna need a long piece for your tie, just enough so that it wraps around and is able to tie. So I'll just tell you how much mine is. Mine's about 48 inches. I don't think I'll need that much, but that is, you'll need those 2 lengths of ribbon. You'll need a clear sheet. This is just lamination. probably can't see it very well on the camera, but this is just a lamination sheet that I ran through my laminator. And then for the decorations, now you can decorate any way you want, but to show you exactly how I'm doing it, I will tell you what I used. So I am using, to kind of focus on this fairy, I'm using a window. These are the Tim Holtz Ideology window frames. I'm not using the same one as I used here. This is a more of an arched window. I'm using this window this time. And then we're going to need, I used this flower set. This is from Hobby Lobby. So it's like these turquoise flowers here. Then I used also, these are Hobby Lobby butterfly stickers. And we'll need these teeny tiny little flowers, also Hobby Lobby. Some lace. This is, let me see how wide this lace is. This lace is about 3.5 inches wide. And then I have various things for my label, my journal label. So I have some bling, and I have this label. This label, I have labels, fairy word labels in my digital kit, Gingham and Gold. That will be linked down below as well. Or you can just use any label you want and write whatever you would like on it. So that is pretty much what we will need. I do have a couple of extra little flowers on here, I think. These are not part of the same set, but I will grab a few more. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. So the first thing we need to do is, after you've printed your cover pieces and torn the edges, these measure about 10 by 7 3/4. That's roughly the size of that, okay? It's a tiny bit over the 10 and just about 7 3/4. So roughly that size. So what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna make some score lines. I'm gonna try to fit this in the screen here, just enough so that you can see what I'm doing. So what I want to do is I'm gonna take my first cover piece, and we're going to make a spine that is 1/4 inch wide. So if this is, you're just doing a one signature journal, the same thing, you're just gonna make a 1/4 inch wide spine here. So this is about 10 1/8. So the middle is 5 1/16, but I'm not gonna be that fussy about it. So I'm gonna make it, let's see, if this is the middle, okay, I'm gonna say that's the middle right there. And then I'm gonna go 1/8 inch on each side of that to make my 1/4 inch gusset, okay? So if this is my middle, let me go on here. Okay. So I'm gonna bring this. So I found my middle by going to 5, and then 1/16 is about right there. So I'm just gonna move that to a spot right there that I can score. So this is my middle. So I'm gonna come 1/8 inch on either side and score. So here's my 1/8 inch on one side, and again, here's my middle. I'm going to go to 1/8 inch on the other side, and then I'll have my 1/4 inch spine. And we're going to do that with all 3 of these sheets. So I'm going to take my next one. Okay, and then we will need to do that with our lamination sheet. So those three together, those three spines together is going to make 3/4 of an inch. So what we need to do is, this is, let's see, it's hard to see on this. This is 11.5 inches. So 5.5, 5 3/4 is my center. Okay. So I need to make I need to make a 3/4 inch spine, but I'm going to actually make it a slightly bit bigger because I want it to be able to wrap around all three spines nicely. So I'm going to make 3/4 of an inch, half of that is 3/8. So I'm going to come 3/8 of an inch to one side of that center. Okay, so 5 3/4 was my center. I'm going to come 1, 2, 3/8 of an inch and score that line, and score it nice and hard. Okay, I'm going to go back to my center, and instead of doing 3/8 of an inch to make a 3/4 inch spine, I'm actually going to go 4/8 of an inch or half an inch to the other side, just to make it slightly bigger for to wrap around the whole spine. So I'm going to go, so there's half an inch. Okay, come here and okay, so now hopefully you can kind of see as I turn that where my score lines are. So it's slightly bigger than 3/4 of an inch. So now I'm going to go ahead and make those creases. Let me zoom out. Okay, I'm just folding along that score line and creasing. I'll do the other score line. Okay, so now I have this clear layer of my cover. Okay, there's that spine. And if you are doing a one signature journal, you only have to make this slightly bigger than 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and make these creases. I hope it is not too confusing. I hope it will become clear as you are doing it yourself. Sometimes I'm like, I don't get the instruction until I'm actually doing it myself. I'm like, oh, that's why they're doing that. But it should become pretty apparent. And my last one. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue these pieces together, and we're going to form the pockets. So here is my front cover. We're going to glue this side to the middle piece. So it's going to be glued to that blank side, so we still have our pattern in the front. And what we're going to do is we're going to glue this edge along the spine, and we're going to glue the top and the bottom so that this becomes a pocket. So I'm really excited to see what the other collaborators have come up with for their ideas, and my glue just wants to be problematic today. So we're just gonna take that precision tip off, and I'm gonna just do it this way. So the spine edge, the top, and the bottom. Okay, and I was gonna put a little bit more there. I really want this to hold well. Okay. So this is why you're not gonna see that other image, because it's gonna be inside a pocket. So just line up your spines. I want to glue that spine edge first, just so I make sure it is nice and even. And then I will press the top and the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for this back one. So again, I'm not going to see this this image. It's going to be inside the pocket. I'm going to glue that to the other side of the middle piece, and that'll be my back cover. So I will glue along the spine edge, along the top, and along the bottom. And let's see, and because I tore these edges, they're not exactly even. That doesn't bother me. You don't have to tear your edges if you don't want to. That's just the look I like. You can be very precise and even with your cutting if you would like. It's really not going to affect the construction of the journal if it's not exactly even on those edges. And so now we have these 3 pieces and 2 pockets that are within the spine here. And then that fits right inside here. We've got to cut this down to fit how we want. So I'm going to see how I want it. I'm going to measure how much I want to cut off of this. 1 1/4 inches from the top of this, okay? 1 1/4 inch from that, and then I need to see how much I want to cut off from the side because it has a bit of an overhang here. I'm going to cut off, I think, about 1/4 inch from each edge. Okay, so there, I still have a little bit of an overhang, but that's kind of what I want, so you have, you know, you can easily open that. So I cut off 1 1/4 inches from the top, and from each side I cut off 1/4 inch. And then I'm going to go ahead and round those corners. I'm going to do that with my fork because I really want it small. I just don't want that sharp edge, that's all. It's not the look that I'm going for, it's just I don't want a sharp edge. Okay, so now that we have this, we are going to go ahead and decorate this part, this clear layer, but we need to keep this in here, and since it's not bound yet, we have to clip it in so that the placement of everything will be correct. So I'm just going to make sure that this is pressed close to the spine, and I'm just going to clip it in. because that would not be fun if we did all this work and then the placement was off. Okay, so now we have this right where we want it, and I'm gonna bring this over here just as a reference. So the next thing I want to do is, I think the ribbon, okay? So I'm gonna find the center of this ribbon, okay? And I'm gonna use Fabri-Tac to adhere this to the spine. And don't worry about it not being maybe strong enough or anything, because we are going to, it's going to be sewn in when we bind it. I just want to make sure that this is in the middle. So that's where I want this to be. So I'm just going to open this up and I'm going to put Fabri-Tac right. I'm just going to eyeball it here from the top of the ribbon to the bottom of the ribbon, and I'm just gonna put Fabri-Tac all along that spine area, and then wrap it around and press it down. And then we are going to take that smaller piece and we're gonna put that over top. Okay, I made it a little bit bigger than the journal so I can just cut it off when I'm done. I'm gonna put Fabri-Tac all along the spine. And then make sure that you are lining it up so that it's in the center. Just smooth that down, and then I'm gonna cut off the excess. Okay, and then we're gonna glue down this overhang. So I'm just gonna put Fabri-Tac along the ribbon. I'm gonna put a little bit underneath this area. I'm gonna do that same thing on the back side. Okay, now on to the fun part. I let this dry a little bit. I'm gonna move those ribbons out of the way so we can work with this here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the placement of my window. If you don't have the Tim Holtz windows, you can just cut one of your own. You don't even need a window if you don't want a window. So I'm just gonna place this about right here. I think maybe right here, because this goes right between her knees. I think that is a good place for that. It just looks a little better there than off, I think, like this. For for gluing on the plastic, I have found that Fabri-Tac works, but I think E6000 works a little better. So I'm going to go ahead and use that to glue the pieces down onto this plastic. Onto this plastic layer. I'm not going to even use the little tips. I'm just going to squeeze it out this way. So I'm just going to stand up just to get the placement right. Make sure that's even. Okay, now we've got our window to feature our fairy. And then I'm going to take my lace. Okay, and I'm going to put this underneath the window. So I'm gonna bring it down to the bottom. And I think Fabri-Tac works fine for this. It's not gonna be really pulled on or anything like that. So I think Fabri-Tac is absolutely fine for this part. I'm just gonna go where that top of the lace is, which is pretty much where the ribbon is, just above where the ribbon falls. I'm just going to glue that, put glue over that entire section. Lift it up a little just so you can see the edge. It's hard to kind of see the edge when you're working with this transparency or the lamination sheets. And then lay that down. Make sure the edge is lined up with your ribbon. And then you can cut off the excess. Okay, I'm gonna grab this set of flowers. You don't have to have the same exact set. You don't even have to use flowers if you don't want to, but we're going to go ahead and start figuring out the placement we want for our flowers. Okay, so I did use these two stems to come up on the side. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of lay it out to see how I want to do this. I'm gonna bring this up so you can see a little better. So I think I still want to keep that there. Let me move my fairy lights out of the way. Okay, and then these three, it was rounded here, but I think I'll just put them around that edge. And then just looking at my other one, I had this big one here, and I had this one here, and I brought this one down here. These I kept for the ribbon, and then this one was down here. I put this foliage here. That one's there to kind of cover up the end of that foliage. And then I used some smaller flowers to fill in these parts. On this ribbon here, because I wanted it to make a full line here, so when it's closed. So I put these, like, I'm gonna put those like that. But when you open that up, you have this empty spot. That's why I use some different flowers. So I'm gonna grab those flowers real quick. So I have just a tub of these different flowers that I got from Hobby Lobby. Sure, you can get them at any craft store, Michael's, Walmart, Joann. You probably find little flowers like this everywhere, especially now that it's spring. So I'm gonna try to find the same flowers that I have on the other one, if not very similar. Okay, here's one that I had up here. And then this one here. I think I need a blue one. I might not have any more of those. have this one. I don't know if I want that pink, that much pink. I have that one. And I don't think I have another blue. Maybe I'll put this one. I don't know if I like that. Maybe this one. I'll do that one. And then I need one here. So I'll go ahead and use, I think, this one. Okay, so that is how I'm going to place those. So we're going to go ahead and glue those down. So I'm going to start with this foliage. I think I'll come all the way up here. And I'm just going to use, I think I will use Fabri-Tac on this. So I'm going to come up pretty far with this foliage and glue that down. Press that lightly. And then I don't want these wires to come all the way down. So I'm going to cut those. And I'm actually going to use the E6000 for these. Just twist those a little bit more. And I'm not going to really glue these top parts. I'm just going to glue the stem. I want it to be about here, I think. And because I'm going to put a butterfly over this flower, I'm going to take this little piece off. Just going to put the E6000 on the back of that. And we're going to stick that right there. Let's see where the edge is here. Right there. And then this one is going to come down here at the bottom. I think I need to do another flower here because this isn't as tall as the other one, so I'm going to have to put another flower. I'll go ahead and put this one at the bottom, and I'll find another flower for that in-between space. How about this one? I think that one will work fine. And I think maybe that one there. This one isn't as flat as the other flowers. So you definitely want to use something like E6000 for that one, that aren't flat. That could be kind of knocked off balance. Okay, then I'm gonna go with these. Okay, so now cover that up, and I'm going to put these flowers here and here. I'm doing them not straight across, but a little, this one's more up than this one, just so it's look like it's going in this S shape here. I'm gonna put those to the side, and then I'm gonna put those 3 flowers out there at the top. I'm gonna squish them back into shape like this. And I'm going to cut them off of the wire. I'm gonna put, let's see, what's the lightest one? This one. I'm gonna put that one in the middle. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is to work on this little, like the title of our journal, or some kind of little embellishment here. If it looks too blank to you, I mean, you can leave it like that, but if it looks too blank to you like it did to me, then let's put something there. So I got this roll of bling at the Dollar Tree. So it just comes on like a ribbon roll, and I just cut this piece off and I'm going to glue it down right here with my Fabri-Tac. Press that down, and then I'm going to put my little Fairyland label on top of that, and then we'll decorate it with some little teeny tiny flowers just to give it a little extra. Almost put that upside down. Okay, we've got our Fairyland label, and I just got these little teeny tiny flowers, and we're just gonna put a bunch of them around the Fairyland label. So I'm just gonna kind of place them what looks good to me, and my fingers are sticky from all the glue, so they keep wanting to stick to me instead of the lace that I have down here. And actually there is one more thing I forgot we have to do, is put our butterfly on. So I'm just going to take one of these butterflies. I think I'm going to go with this one. And I'm going to put them right there. On my flower. And there we have our journal cover. I'm gonna take these clips off. Oh, how gorgeous is it? I love it. So, you know, you can do the basic construction of the clear layer and the 3 sections inside, or you can do a 1 signature journal, and feel free to copy my design, but really just go to town with your creativity with decorating this this clear part. Pick a fairy that you want to feature and figure out a way to decorate this clear cover to feature that fairy that you like. This was the one I picked. This is the way I chose to do it. But the sky is really the limit, because you don't have to have a frame. You can frame the fairy with flowers or with butterflies or whatever inspires you. And then you can even decorate your ribbon to go along with the cover. So I hope you enjoyed this cover tutorial. I hope it was clear and you understood the instructions. I know some of them were a little confusing with the spine measurements, but if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll try to clarify. But I hope you have such a fun time watching all the videos of the other collaborators this week. Make sure to subscribe to their channels, like their videos, and comment so your name will go into the drawing at the end of the month. And I will see you again next week to start making signatures. So I will see you again soon, guys. Have a great day. Bye.